What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy, the Ultimate Rage, coming back with yet another live here in the No Cap Zone, where we have a strict dress code. Now get the hell off with that capping ass bullshit. The only kind of cap that we allow around these parts is your thinking cap. Otherwise, you got to move the hell around. Because around these parts, all we care about are the facts, the truth, the data, the information, statistics, the evidence. You know, things that can actually be demonstrated in real life. You know, like in real time. While we're actually alive, of sound mind, sane, competent, able. Because otherwise, I literally have no idea what these loonies out here be talking about. And to tell you the truth, they don't know what the hell they're fucking talking about. Which is why we gotta sit here and talk about it. So let's talk about it. Before we begin, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn on notifications, share everywhere, hit that follow, all that good shit. Head to the website, offthe9.com. offthe9.com. Join the Discord, become a part of the community that's going to change the world. Alright? So let's just cut the shit. I asked this question, what up, Ice, what up, Ice, Icy, baby. What the hell are we doing, folks? What exactly are we doing? What are our goals? What are our aims? What are we trying to do? What are we hoping to accomplish? What do we hope to actually achieve in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of our reality? Because, see, the problems that we have in our society is that we don't actually think about this part. The most important part. What are we doing? What exactly are we doing? It seems like we've become a planet filled to the brim of people running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off with no clear direction, no clear focus, no clear aim. People just out here doing shit. And as a result, we have this deteriorating state of society. And so many people love to attribute it to any and everything. All kinds of, well, it's because you're not teaching the Lord in the schools. I swear I've heard, if I got $1 for every time I heard some shit like that around here, in the south side of Chicago, probably be rich by now. But see, here's the problem. That's cap. That's fucking cap. Because as we can see from one of the latest news articles, actually, they love teaching about the Lord in the fucking school. Alright, so check it out. Check it the fuck out. Look at this shit. This is according to KSLA News 12. The Ten Commandments displays return to Louisiana classrooms as new school year begins. And look, we even got a video. Let's check it out.
School back in session. For most students in the Arklatex, this is the first full school year with the Ten Commandments displayed, mandated in all public classrooms in Louisiana. KSLA's Peyton Manuel has more.
It's back to school, which means buses, backpacks, and the Ten Commandments. Following Louisiana legislation, Ten Commandments displays are required in all public school classrooms from kindergarten through college. The law continues to draw...
From kindergarten to college. From kindergarten to fucking college. They gotta have the Ten Commandments in every fucking classroom in Louisiana. Even though I thought we had this thing called, the Constitution. That's why I swear I thought we had this thing. Right? The Constitution of the United States of America. We get all these fucking bitch-made ass loonies out here that act like they're so patriotic, like they care so much about the United States of America. They're constantly super duper patriotic. They love to tell the Pledge of Allegiance and all that bullshit. But when it comes to the literal actual Constitution that our country is based on, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit. They don't know what the fuck it says. They don't know what the fuck it's about. They don't give a shit. The reason why I bring this up is because there's this little thing, I don't know if you heard of it, but there's this thing called the First fucking Amendment. The First Amendment, Amendment 1. Okay, now, one thing that these theistic loonies always love to say is that the First Amendment grants them religious freedom. The only problem with that claim is that it doesn't really comport with the reality that we share and inhabit. Because this is what the literal Constitution says in the First Amendment. This is the first thing it literally says. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. That's the first thing it says. That is literally the first thing that it says. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. So what the fuck is this bullshit? Sounds like a law that literally respects a religion. That respects the establishment of this particular religion called Christianity. That means that this law in Louisiana is literally unconstitutional. Now, to be fair to these fucking loonies, the First Amendment goes on to say, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. But see, here's the problem with that. Those two clauses contradict each other directly. They cancel each other out. So at fucking best, the First Amendment is pretty much ambiguous when it comes to theism. However, considering the fact that we have these things called other laws, that in and of itself directly hinders religious freedom. Because see, one of the biggest issues with theism, religion, whatever you want to call it, they have a lot of moralistic issues. We'll just put it like that. They have a lot of problems when it comes to the way they conduct themselves morally, and also when it comes to following these other laws. See, if Christianity, if theism was correct, if it was true, if it was obvious, we wouldn't need to have any of these discussions, because they would just be right and we would just be among them, talking about how right we are, because we believe in the super duper thing, and because we absolutely have the truth, and we can show you. That's the type of person I am. If I believe I have the truth, I'm going to show you the truth that I have. And then it's up to you whether you want to accept it or not. Because I'm a solutions-oriented person. I'm a fact-oriented person. I don't like speculation. I don't like leaving things up in the air. I'm not big on ambiguity. You know what I'm saying? I'm not big on vagueness, being indirect. I like being straightforward, cutting straight to the fucking chase. Why would they even need to do this at all if the Lord was literally correct, real, factual, existing? If the thing that they believe in so bad was real, why would they need to push such a controversial law like this? Anywho, let's continue with the video.
Controversy from parents and guardians of local students.
Teenagers nowadays, or children nowadays, they don't read the Bible. They read people. We are the Bible. We are who they are reading.
Just like the Declaration of Independence, the Bible is part of our history, and that's part of the Bible, and frankly, it's how it should be.
Wait. She said the Bible is part of our history and part of the Bible? This is how these fucking loonies talk. The Bible is part of our history. That's true. The Bible is definitely a part of human history. Nobody would deny that. Me as an atheist and an anti-theist would never deny that. The Bible is clearly, unquestionably a part of our history. It's just not a really good part. That's the problem. See, because the fact of the matter is, for one, it is untrue. It's simply untrue. Every aspect of it false. There might be a couple references to real people in real life, but in terms of the stories that are presented in the Bible, cap. Bunch of fucking cap. And not only is it cap, but it has been hugely a big fat negative when it comes to its impact on human society. Because for every little soup kitchen, for every little homeless shelter, or a AA program that they present and act like, yay, we're doing such good work, I can show you story after 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 story of the harms that are being committed in the name of God, whatever this fucking supposed thing is supposed to be. What's the point? Anywho, let's get back to the video.
School says it began displaying the Ten Commandments during the 2025-2026 school year and says this year will be no different. The district says, quote, our focus remains on providing a safe, supportive, and academically strong learning environment for every student and making the
Cap. Fucking cap. That is literally false. That's straight up false. You don't say that you want to focus on providing a safe, supportive, and academically strong learning environment for every student if you then force them to be inundated with baseless, unjustifiable fucking bullshit. Every single day we get on here, I demand of all theists, whatever brand of Delulu you subscribe to, whatever your supernatural, super intelligent, super thing is, show us that right fucking now. It is currently 4:19 p.m. Central Standard Time on August the 16th, 2026. If this thing is so real and so true, show us right now. What is your methodology for demonstrating that there is this thing? What is your methodology for detecting this thing in a way that we can verify in real life independently right now? What is your method for literally communicating with this supposed thing in a way where we all can actually like participate, witness, experience right now in real life? The same way any of you are sitting here watching me, you can type into the comment section, oh, I disagree with you, what the fuck are you talking about? The same way y'all do that, where is the thing so that it can do that too? Because all these people love to claim this fucking crazy ass nonsense, yet zero, I mean literally zero, out of billions of Christians worldwide, 2.4 billion Christians worldwide, some 200 some odd million here in America, a big fat fucking zero of them can show us any of their crap. At best, they have a book. Their ancient sci-fi fantasy novel that they keep referring to. This fucking book. The good book. It's such a good book they can't even defend half the shit. They can't defend half of it. It's such a good book. They'll fucking have all this shit to say about any and every other book. But when it comes to theirs, we'll see you don't understand. See, things were different at the time. See, the Lord was super duper, like pissed the fuck off at the time. Was highly super malevolent. So even though we claim that he was so good and so wonderful and so peaceful and so merciful, we have all these passages that talk about how he actually wasn't merciful. Was actually a fucking narcissist. Was a psychopath. Was fucking highly super violent and basically destroyed the world. Literally destroyed the world. Killed everybody on the planet because it failed, because of its supposed failures, according to their lore. Why would you want to worship a fucking miserable failure? That's what I don't understand. Why are so many people so happy to worship a miserable fucking failure? First of all, why do people want to worship anything anyway? Yo, fam, simping is not cool. I just want to let you know. Simping is not cool, especially when you simp for literally fucking nothing. Something that you can't show me right now. You telling me it's this and that. It's so amazing and wonderful and so, oh my God, it's so great. But you can't show this great thing to me right now. You have to force people to see these weak ass 10 commandments. And then the ironic thing to me is that there is no thou shalt not commit an act of rape in the 10 commandments. Now, people might say, well, lust is one of the 7 deadly sins. They'll say that. But then they pretend like they don't know about all the rape that's all throughout the Bible. But But that's neither here nor there. What about in real life though? That's the part where they really get me. Because you know we're gonna get into that. You know we're gonna get into that. But it's just the fact of, if this shit is true, why do you have to display it in the classroom? Why is that so important for you? What does it actually accomplish? How does it help solve any major world problem right now? These people, if they actually had the information stating how it would help, I would have no problem with it, because, hey, I'm all about the information. But see, these people, they don't have that. They just make up shit. They just bullshit all fucking day, every single day, especially on Sundays, which is why we call our lives on Sundays Senseless Sundays. Because Sundays are the day where theists are allowed to fucking be, you know, in their crazy mode, where they have their sci-fi fantasy weekly meetups. They pay their weekly membership fees. They sing songs, hold hands, they get a free show, and then pretend like they did something super duper amazing, supporting the greatest scam in human history. So when these fools say that they're providing a safe, supportive, and academically strong learning environment, how could that possibly be the case? Especially when I show you the shit that I'm about to show you in a little bit. Like, I don't understand it, the extraordinary hypocrisy of these fucking theists. Mind you, not one single theist has shown us any of their theistic crap at all, other than their lore. All we get is their lore. Oh yeah, the 10 Commandments. As if nobody knows what the 10 Commandments are. As if everybody's just like, damn, I wish we had 10 Commandments so that we can make the world a better place. They said that they already displayed the 10 Commandments last year. What did that do though? That's what I'm still trying to understand. What exactly did that do? Anyway, let's just finish the video.
2026-2027 school year, a great one for all students, staff, and families. Bossier Parish Schools also released a statement saying, quote, "The district's role is to follow the law, and we will do so accordingly." The district went on to say Bossier Schools will remain neutral on this matter and will not take a position or offer further comment.
They're trying to push one specific Protestant version of the Ten Commandments on everybody's kids.
Still, the controversy continues.
See, and that's another thing. Why did he have to say it like that? One specific version of the... Oh, so there's different versions. Why would there be different versions if the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is so real and so true? Why would the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ give all these different versions to all these different denominations so that they can be completely confused as to which one is the correct one? This is what I'm saying. Strong academic environment, bullshit. If they really wanted a strong academic environment, they would teach kids critical thinking skills so they can see clearly this is fucking bullshit. Look at their inability to coordinate even amongst themselves. I mean, throughout history, Christianity has been a fucking civil war the whole entire time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Catholics and fucking Protestants been killing each other for centuries. You got all these different groups beefing for what? And so now they're so delulu, they don't even like it when their particular brand of delulu isn't being represented in the fucking legislature. Even though zero of these fucks could demonstrate any of their crap to begin with. Anyway.
Sam Grover with the Freedom from Religion Foundation says he's a parent and an advocate who opposes 10 Commandment displays in public schools.
In Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas, we are part of a coalition that's suing to prevent those states from pushing one specific religious point of view onto other people's children. And in all three of those states, those displays go up in every single classroom, for every single subject, throughout every single public school student's education. And that's simply not something that the government should do.
The debate over the displays is
Agreed.
far from over, with legal challenges still playing out in several states, including Louisiana. In Shreveport, Peyton Manuel, KSLA News 12.
Now, the Freedom from Religion Foundation is part of the lawsuit challenging Louisiana's 10 Commandments law. The group says it expects the case to eventually make its way through the federal courts.
So yeah, that's the end of the video. So, I mean, This is why I am so anti-theistic, because these are the types of tactics that theists need to actually engage in to push their bullshit worldview, because their worldview simply does not comport with reality. They have the benefit of having hundreds of millions of fellow fucking believers, which is the problem of this, which is why this shit is allowed to even happen in the first place, because there are so many people who agree with this craziness, who are so happy with this delulu ass garbage, that they have no problem with this shit. But the problem with this shit, and just so we're clear, to me, like, the issue of the Ten Commandments being displayed in every classroom, the problem isn't the Ten Commandments going up in and of itself, right? The problem is the fact that I just showed you the Constitution, right? I showed you that it says in it that they shall make no law respecting an institution of religion. That's what it says. And yet, this law does exactly that. So these fucks that are in Congress, these fucks that are in government are violating their own Constitution. The United States Constitution, the Constitution of the United States. They claim that they're such patriots, and then they piss and shit all over the fucking Constitution every single chance that they get. They love reinterpreting bullshit however they see fit, because they know the people ain't gonna give a fuck, because people are retarded, people are willfully ignorant, people do not perform their due diligence, they will not read the Constitution to see what it says, which is why I have a copy to read it for you to show you what the fuck it says. These people are simply incorrect. They're false. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. But see, I need y'all to understand that there is a bigger reason as to why I'm so anti-theist. Why I'm so against this type of shit, this religious fucking extremism, basically. The fact that these loonies get into government and force these type of laws to push their theocratic nonsense. Okay? So as a result, they violate their own Constitution, demonstrating they don't actually care about the Constitution. They only care about check this out. Oh, we got a video for this too. Let me see what this is about.
Survivors of alleged clergy sex abuse say the Archdiocese of New Orleans is dragging its feet in compensating them for such abuse. As Tom Trung reports, a recent filing in bankruptcy court accuses the Archdiocese of delaying a multi-million-dollar settlement.
Jackie Berthelot, Aaron Hebert, and Johnny Crummell all say they suffered clergy sex abuse when they were young boys.
It's constantly in your mind. You go through it day in and day out.
There are 3 claimants waiting for payment from the Archdiocese of New Orleans, which settled hundreds of similar sex abuse claims through bankruptcy court last December. The wait for that settlement money, they say, is frustrating.
There's got to be justice here.
Okay, so let's just start with that. The fact that this is even a fucking topic. The fact that so many motherfucking clergy members committed so much motherfucking rape against so motherfucking many children throughout the decades, that even when it comes to paying restitution to the people that they fucking violated in the name of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, yeah, they're like, nah, we're not gonna fucking pay that. They don't want to pay that. Why don't they want to pay that? I thought they were so morally superior to everybody. I thought they were so super duper good and great. I thought they were so wonderful and amazing. I thought they were so awesome, right? That's why we need the Ten Commandments. See, this is the type of shit that drives me up a fucking wall. The extraordinary hypocrisy of theists and their theistic fucking bullshit. Their inability to live up to their own supposed standards that they set And then they have the nerve to come at us, to come at people like me, and tell me how I'm so terrible, tell us how we're so terrible because we're not like them. You goddamn right I'm not like them. And if that makes me terrible, I would rather be a terrible, horrible, evil, terrible person than a righteous, loving rapist, piece of shit, or rapist apologist, piece of shit like y'all. Why the fuck would any sane person want to be part of such a community where they commit this amount of fucking craziness against so many fucking innocent people? The people in their own community, by the way. I want to make this abundantly clear to y'all. These are the people, the children, the victims. The victims are among their own community. They're not like, oh, some random people. I mean, some of them might be, but 9 times out of 10, the people being harmed are members of the community. And this isn't something I'm just saying. We got the data to show you. But why? Why are we letting the rape community dictate what's good and what's not? When these are the types of things that occur on a regular basis. And by the way, I need to show y'all a little something. Look at the date on this. Look at the date. This was about a week ago. So it's not like I'm pulling some shit from fucking 200,000 years ago. Shit was last week, bruh. And here's what's so funny. I wasn't even looking for this. I was actually looking for the original fucking story talking about the settlement happening in the first place. I just so happened to find this super quick by doing the fucking Google search. And it came right the fuck up. From last week. Not just, oh, the fact that they had to do a multi-million-dollar fucking settlement. Let me see if they show the number in the article. Of course they do. Right? So in the article, it says, under the settlement plan, the archdiocese stands to pay at least $230 million fucking dollars. Payments to survivors were originally scheduled to begin in the second quarter of this year, but after 5 years of bankruptcy proceedings and roughly 9 months since the settlement, survivors say they've yet to receive one fucking penny. But this same group, this same community, the same organization, the Christian organization, because mind you, this story is specifically about Catholics, but this isn't unique to Catholics. They're just the worst offenders, at least as far as we know, right? Because they're the biggest Christian denomination, right? Got over 1 billion followers just of Catholicism, okay? And yet, there's so fucking many of these stories, and so few of stories where they're doing something amazing where we're like, wow, that was fucking great. So this is why I do what I do, fam. So let's finish this.
And
I try
there
to.
will only be justice until the folks in charge at the Archdiocese accept the accountability.
It's been dragging on.
No. I'm sorry. See, this is why it's so hard for me to finish a video that's only 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Because nah, that's not what it is, fam. I'm sorry that happened to you, fam. I truly do. I do this to prevent what happened to you from happening to anybody else. Because the children of the future, no child, no person should have to grow up dealing with that kind of a trauma at all. But the fact of the matter is, theism is the greatest, longest-running sci-fi fantasy multi-level marketing scam in the history of humanity. They will never take accountability. Their goal is not to take accountability. They are the rapists. What part of that do you not understand? This isn't some isolated incident. It's not like, oh, it only happened a couple times in New Orleans. This has been par for the course all around the fucking world for this whole fucking time. What up, love? What up? What the fuck are we doing? Oh wait, that's not Law. That's fucking the other Richard. What up, you a fucking asshole now? But yeah, I mean, it's actually a goddamn shame that this is the type of shit that happens on a constant, regular fucking basis, right? It has been for so long. This isn't just for the past couple decades. This has been literally thousands of years since the Roman Catholics back in Rome, when the Catholics formed. This has been a part of their culture for a long time, throughout human history, and it never stopped. That's why when it comes to a lot of the crimes against humanity that occurred throughout the past several centuries, the Catholic Church has been smack dab in the center of that shit. Whether you're talking about the transatlantic slave trade, whether you're talking about the Holocaust, I mean, the Catholics have had their hand in some of the worst atrocities in human history. While claiming that they have this super duper supernatural, super intelligent, super thing that they're somehow connected to, that they somehow converse with, that they're somehow like in tune with, and yet this thing that they're in tune with fails to tell them, hey, don't rape the child. Hey, probably shouldn't touch that 5-year-old. Yeah, probably not a good idea. Could have fooled them. Could have fooled them. Yeah, you're both a couple dicks. Dick ass motherfucker. But yeah, it's like, it's crazy that this is the way that these people operate. That this is the way that they act on a regular routine basis, and then have the nerve to get in positions of power and to legislate their fucking bullshit on the rest of us. As if they're doing such a great, wonderful, amazing fucking job. It sickens me, and it sickens me how it's so bad that they've got their own victims talking about they need to take accountability. Fam, if they were gonna take accountability, they would shut the operations down right now. They would not continue operating. They are the greatest scam in the history of history. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't have any actual data or information, statistics, evidence of any kind. Period. I mean, literally fucking nothing. And it's so fucking sad. Because their fucking parents put them in harm's way. And today, parents put their children in harm's way all the fucking time. And for what? That's what the part that I'm still trying to understand. What gets accomplished? What literally gets accomplished when these people are going to these bullshit services, listening to some liars, some charlatans, some scam artists, somebody suffering from super delusions of grandeur, speaking a bunch of fucking nothing? What do they get from that? What do they actually get? What value do they receive from learning this bullshit? They're not inventing anything, discovering anything, creating new surgical practice, discovering new medical practices, new medicines, anything. All they do is just talk about this sins stuff. Not medicines, just sins. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be. I don't know what the fuck they're referring to. You sin. You're sinning in the eyes of the Lord. Okay, what the fuck does that mean? Why should I give a fuck? Where's the Lord, by the way? Because it seems like it's a bunch of yo ass mad. If this Lord thing was so mad, why couldn't it come to me directly? I'm right here. I'm available. Just like how you talking to me, it could talk to me. And I'd rather talk to it if it's so real and so true as you claim. So that's why I asked you fucks, where the fuck is it at right now? It's not my job to tell you. It's not my job. You gotta find it. I'm like, how are you gonna try to tell me that there's this thing? You call yourself convincing me that there's this thing, but then you tell me I need to find the thing myself, but you don't really give me any real reason why I should find it other than I need to save my soul. Meanwhile, we got children right now dying in the street. Literally losing their lives. Losing their innocence or whatever the fuck. To these fucking loonies. And y'all don't seem to have any solution of any kind. And then y'all wonder why I get so fucking mad. Y'all wonder why I'm so fucking mad. Because the fact I have to see this shit every single fucking day, and you fucks act like y'all know what the hell y'all talking about. Y'all ain't got shit to do about it. Y'all ain't got no solution. Y'all ain't got nothing. Nothing to talk about how to prevent this shit, stop this shit, any of that shit. It's just, I guess the Lord moved in serious ways or some bullshit.
Dragging on. It seems like there's roadblocks every turn.
And there's always something new coming up just to keep the money.
The Archdiocese stands to pay at least $230 million. Payment to survivors originally was set to begin by the second quarter of this year. But after 5 years of bankruptcy proceedings and roughly 9 months since the settlement, these men say they've yet to receive one penny.
Victims and survivors, we're not getting anything.
So then it makes me say, okay, where's the fucking Lord? Where exactly is the Lord? You know, the Lord that's so super duper wonderful and amazing and awesome and superly duperly duper, right? The one that supposedly holds them accountable and all that type of shit. Where's the Lord? So it can fucking force you bitch ass motherfuckers to pay the money. Why is it that y'all act like y'all are so super duper moral and y'all can't even fucking make up for the bullshit y'all been doing this whole fucking time? And then y'all got the nerve to be mad at me. People got the nerve to be mad at us for calling this shit the fuck out, for saying, hey, where is the Lord? These are the people that claim to be followers of the Lord. They claim that what they're doing is so good, so wonderful, so amazing. They're pushing this wonderful, great idea that's so awesome and so amazing for humanity. And yet, where it at? Where is it at? Where the fuck is it at? Anywho.
The attorneys are getting the money.
I'm disgusted.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Because
a
that's
scam.
not the deal, we thought they made.
So what's holding up the process? In a recent court filing, the settlement trustee, who was responsible for administering the money, said the Archdiocese, quote, refuses to cooperate with
Who
its
would have
request
thought?
for certain files.
Who would have thought?
The Archdiocese, quote, obstructionist tactics must stop now.
They're not
As
gonna.
part of the review of
They're not
sex
gonna.
abuse claims, the trustee says he needs enrollment records from the former Catholic orphanages.
See, this is the shit that drives me so fucking crazy, I swear to God. So when it comes to the law, clearly these fucks do not give a fuck, right? Because that's what I should say, they forcefully give fucks. That's the problem. They force their fucks on people, which is why they're in the situation to begin with. So clearly, they don't give a fuck about following the law. That's not in their purview. That's not a prerogative for them. They do not give a shit about ensuring that they don't violate the law. They love violating the laws. They favorite shit in the fucking world to do. So what's not paying couple $100 million? They've been raping kids. I mean, what's worse than that? What is worse than raping the kids? Because you're gonna have a very difficult time finding something worse than killing the kids, because that's about as raping and killing the like. Come on, fam. This is literally the worst of the worst of the worst. The absolute literal worst. Okay? The reason why we need laws in the fucking first place is because if we didn't have the laws, imagine how much more rampant this type of behavior would be. If we didn't have jurisdictions, if we didn't have lawyers, if we didn't have laws saying, hey, raping children is bad, guys. You should not rape the children. It is literally unlawful to rape children. They're like, yeah, who gives a fuck? We gonna do that shit all day, every day. And yet, they're the ones that get to determine laws. They're the ones that get to push laws, spreading their propaganda. That is the craziest shit in the fucking world. That's the craziest shit in the fucking world. To me, this is the equivalent of just being like, hey, Nambla, why don't you fucking write the next fucking law here in Chicago? Since y'all, we love raping kids so much. And for those of you who are unaware, NAMBLA is the National Association for Man-Boy Love in America or something like that. Basically, the worst of the worst group you could possibly think of. The pro-pedophilia group. But see, here's the thing. At the very least, NAMBLA is open about who they are. They're at least upfront and honest about what they're about. They're like, yeah, we want to fuck the kids. We should be allowed to fuck the kids. I can respect them, even though I don't respect them, but I can at least, let me be clear, I can respect the fact that they're honest about their intentions. I literally cannot respect the group that's the loudest, with the most boldest fucking claims concerning reality, concerning morality. And this is the type of shit that's literally par for the course. This isn't like some, like I said, once in the blue moon thing. Oh, every time Haley's Comet comes by, another no. Every damn day, damn near every day, and probably every single day. If we had perfect knowledge, perfect awareness of everything going on, we would probably see all kinds of acts of this kind being committed by Christian leadership. Not just by Christians, because we already know that, but specifically the leadership, the clergy, the volunteers, the teachers, the coaches, the staff, people who are prominent in the belief system, who are prominent in the community, the ones whose jobs it is was to protect the people in their community. Yeah, these are the people committing the acts. And they're the ones that get to make the laws, that get to affect the laws, that get to influence the laws, that get to influence AI and shit like that. It blows my fucking mind. It pisses me off so hard, because this is worse than any movie, any fucking TV show, comic book, sci-fi, fantasy, dystopia shit, Ghost in the Shell type shit, Mad Max type shit. We're literally living in the world where these fuckers dress up child rape like it's the greatest fucking thing in the world. Where they pretend like this is not what they're about, but this is all they're about. Every day. Every other day we find the news stories of this type. And yet, these literal fucking minor fuckers, child fucker apologist fuckers, are literally having a direct influence on law. Make that make fucking sense. Giving the keys to the fucking crazies, the prisoners, the fucking criminals. Like, why would you do that? Yet that's what we've become as a nation here in America. We have become a nation that rewards the child fuckers and punishes the whistleblowers of child fuckery. Or any fucking fuckery for that matter. I'm sickened, bro. Let's just continue.
At Hope Haven and Madonna Manor, which were identified in a significant number of abuse claims. The trustee goes on to say delays in responding to his request could jeopardize a timely review of claims. In a separate filing this week, attorneys for the Archdiocese said they learned about the request roughly 2 weeks ago and objected to the claim that the church is delaying reviews. According to the Archdiocese motion, the files the trustee requested contain sensitive information about survivors and even their family members, including medical records and psychiatric evaluations. And before such files can be released, the Archdiocese argues a confidentiality agreement needs to be reached.
They know it happened, but they continue to stand in the way of there being a finality to this thing.
When survivors will get payment remains unclear, but for these men, that time is long overdue. In New Orleans, Tom Trung, Fox 8, Local First.
In a court hearing this afternoon, the Archdiocese said it received assurances that sensitive information will be protected and it will hand over the requested files. Well, I bet you.
So, this is the type of shit that makes America a goddamn joke, a goddamn shame, makes humanity a goddamn joke, a goddamn shame. Because we always have to deal with this craziness on a regular basis every single fucking day. Every single day. We have to see these loonies, we have to see these crazies get celebrated, get all kinds of deferential, preferential treatment, and I don't understand it. The only thing that I can understand that makes it make sense is that people actually do love child rape, and they're just a bunch of fucking liars. That they actually do want children to be raped, that they love seeing children get raped, or at least, at the very least, that they're apathetic to children getting raped. Because it's a constant thing. It's a constant fucking experience that occurs on a regular basis. How can this be the case if it wasn't true? If these fucking loonies were so against child rape, then why does it occur on a constant basis? See, I talk about these topics because ultimately, again, what are we doing? You can't tell me that, say, you want to make the world a better place. You want to push for world peace. But you're not addressing these kinds of issues. If you can't be serious, if you can't act like a fucking adult, act like a serious person when it comes to these topics, how can you ever possibly hope to make the world a better place? What the fuck is a better place to you? See, this is the issue that we have as a society. Because people, they come up with these terms, they use these phrases, but they can't demonstrate what they mean by these vague terms. Make the world a better place is too fucking vague. What the hell is a better place? Because as long as children are being raped, I don't give a fuck. It can't possibly be better if children are being raped. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. What the hell are you talking about? You don't even fucking talk about this. If you're not talking about this, how the hell are you telling me about making the world a better place? How? How? Especially when you use the same fucking bullshit to make legislation, to push legislation, that in order for anybody to even gain a position in fucking legislature, we have to subscribe to this rape culture bullshit. This sci-fi fantasy nonsensical rape culture loving garbage. Like, I'm over the age of 35. I have a clean criminal record. I'm a pretty knowledgeable guy. Why can't I be president? Oh, because I'm not a Christian. I don't have billions of dollars. I don't have people in high places that can fucking help me become that. But, oh, Trump can be president because he was born with a fucking platinum spoon. He was able to scam a bunch of people all his fucking life. And even when alleged evidence is demonstrated that this fucker is a fucking weirdo, he still has a major, massive legion of fucking loonies who love him. Like, he's the greatest. Like, I've literally seen shit about how this dude is Jesus, how he's the next Jesus. First of all, what did Jesus ever do, actually, other than perform a couple of magic tricks? And second of all, okay, why does this guy deserve to be worshipped like he is? Like, I don't understand it. A motherfucker can create a cure for cancer. Motherfuckers won't give a fuck, right? Motherfucker who came up with the tuberculosis fucking vaccine. Don't know him. No idea. I have to look it up. But we don't celebrate this dude at all. Did more for the world than Jesus ever did. Jesus ain't do shit. I mean, literally didn't do shit. According to their lore, he was the Lord, or he was like the Lord's son, but he was also I don't know. He was somebody special. Somebody that some of them believe had super duper magic powers, and he didn't do shit with that shit. Oh, he performed a couple magic tricks. He didn't transform the world. He didn't fucking like end major world problems, solve major world problems, solve problems in mathematics or fucking engineering or medicine. He didn't say, hey, by the way, there's gonna be this AIDS fucking epidemic in the 90s. Here's the fucking blueprint for creating the vaccine that'll prevent HIV/AIDS totally. Oh, in 2020, there's going to be a spread of this thing called the COVID-19 virus. You should probably wash your hands a lot. And oh, here's this vaccine from a company that will be created 2,000 years from now called Johnson & Johnson. Y'all should check it out. None of that shit ever happened, nor does it ever happen. And yet people will worship these fucking weirdos because, frankly, people are fucking weirdos. It took me all my life to realize this. I used to wonder why I stood out so much. I used to wonder why I was such an outcast, why I just never fit in with people. And it took me all these years to realize I stick out because I'm not fucking as crazy as these fucks. That I'm not as much of a liar as these fucks. That I'm not a fucking bitch-ass buffoon like a lot of these fucks. That I'm not like a fucking disingenuous asshat. See, I used to be a Christian. And as a Christian, I really, really, truly sought to believe and understand the belief system. I really, really wanted to get to the bottom of understanding the blessings of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and all that shit. That's why I went to a Christian school as a Christian, studied the Bible with my fellow Christians, would have arguments with atheists like myself all the fucking time because I felt like it was a great way to deepen my understanding of the Bible by having actual atheists challenging me and being like, well, what about this and what about that, and this don't make sense and that don't make sense. So I'm like, okay, well, I gotta make it make sense for me so that I can make it make sense for them so that I can save their souls, right? Until I realized I was full of shit the whole time. I was full of shit. None of this makes any sense. None of it comports with the actual reality that we live in, that we share and inhabit. And most importantly, none of this does anything for anybody actually. That's why when you challenge subscribers of theism, they get so defensive and so angry and so mad and emotional and all that type of shit because they know they're full of shit. They know that they have no evidence for none of the stuff that they're talking about. They know that if you say, hey, where is the Lord? They can't just point to, oh, well, he's right there. I mean, they'll some of them will say that he's everywhere. But if I say, okay, so he's right there, they'll be like, well, no, actually, it's like a metaphor or some other bullshit excuse or explanation that they'll come up with. But they never have any actual data. The fact that they have no data by itself should totally undermine their entire worldview. But the mere fact that they keep getting caught for this kind of behavior and collectively they don't even try to come up with a solution of any sort. In fact, we see this type of shit. We see that they engage in obstructionist tactics. Why would a group that cares so much about truth and morality use obstructionist tactics, especially using obstructionist tactics for the most damning fucking behavior that they've committed, right? For the fucking sexual abuse claims that they've been levied with. Like, that's why this is so disgusting to me. If this were any other group, any other organization, any other company or whatever, fuck a goddamn settlement. There'd be all kinds of criminal charges. There'd be all kinds of fucking depositions and indictments and RICO cases. Motherfuckers would be rolling on others. Motherfuckers would be getting all kinds of plea deals so that they can snitch on so-and-so and such. And back in 1965, I witnessed him and her do this and that to him and her, them and they, whatever the fuck. But because they are religion, they get an exemption. They get preferential treatment. It's honestly shocking to me that this is par for the fucking course. That this is just the way that these fools choose to conduct themselves, and that this is what we've accepted. I'm trying to figure out, why do we accept this? Why is this acceptable? Why is this acceptable? Especially, now just juxtapose what we just talked about with this other story. Yeah, there's more. There's always more. One thing you should just know, there's always gonna be fucking more, no matter what. Check it out. From The Guardian. New Orleans Catholic High School agrees to second payout over guess what? Guess fucking what? Jesuit high school deal resolves lawsuit stemming from allegations of molestation by school janitor decades prior. Okay? Note the date. Note the date. Note the fucking date. About a week ago, August 9th, last Sunday, literally a week ago. For the second time in as many months, a prominent Catholic school in New Orleans recently agreed to pay an out-of-court settlement to resolve a lawsuit claiming child molestation decades earlier by a janitor at the institution. Both the plaintiff and Jesuit High School struck the agreement ahead of a late September trial date in the city's civil district courthouse, according to 27 July legal filings reviewed by The Guardian. That packed came after Jesuit and another plaintiff alleging child molestation by the same school janitor, as well as one of his custodian colleagues, served notice in court on June the 4th that they had agreed to an out-of-court settlement. An attorney for both of those plaintiffs, Richard Trahant, in June, would not deny that the settlement in that case was worth more than a $2.4 million verdict awarded to an unrelated Louisiana sexual abuse claimant in the summer of 2025. When asked about the more recent settlement's terms, neither Trahant and his co-counsel Soren Gisselson and John Denania, nor attorneys for Jesuit immediately commented. So, I mean, look, they've been dealing with this shit this whole time. This has been par for the course this whole time. Nothing has changed in all of this time. Nothing. Literally fucking nothing has changed. All we see are more and more and more settlements, more and more stories of this on the individual level, and they just mount up. They just mount up. That's why I feel like it's important to actually, like, cover these stories collectively in their totality and to actually discuss the narrative of their miserable failures, of Christianity's miserable failure, of the Catholic Church's miserable failure in helping to create a well-functioning society by not raping children. Like, it's so crazy to me that these loonies can just have so much power, so much wealth, so many actual fucking members subscribing to this craziness, and they have every fucking position in government all over the fucking country, and it seems like there's very little we can do about it because these literal fuckers are everywhere. They don't stop hurting the kids. They will not ever stop. They can't. How do you reform a rapist? How? How exactly do you reform a rapist? I don't know. But it is my hypothesis that if we put our energy, our resources into trying to figure it out, maybe we can figure it out. But until then, who knows? But look at this story. UN letter warns Nigeria of violence risk to Christian women and girls. We wish to raise concern regarding patterns of religiously motivated violence and persecution, the letter said, especially Christians, including women and girls. See, this is the type of shit I'm talking about, fam. A joint letter from UN human rights experts warning Nigerian officials of the heightened risk of violence against Christian women and girls in the country has been made public after the government failed to respond within 60 days. The June 1st letter cited attacks against Christian women and girls in northern Nigeria and the Middle Belt region, including killings, forced conversion, and of course sexual violence. The letter was signed by Reem Al-Salam, UN Special Rapporteur on violence against women and girls. Got all these people. So yeah, I mean, look. Let me preface what I'm about to say by saying I don't support violence against anybody for any reason, unless they're the people who are committing this type of atrocity. I can disagree with theists without ever calling for violence against them, harm against them, or attacks of any kind against them. The only kind of attack that I'll use are logic attacks. Because see, I'm a person who was formerly a theist. I know that people aren't just theists because they just absolutely want to be theists or they love theism or whatever. I understand that there is a bigger fucking picture here, that there's this extreme like institutional bias towards theism, specifically Christianity here in America, and that, you know, it's beyond prevalent in our communities. I mean, I literally can't walk down the street. Literally down the street. I'm not even joking with you. I literally cannot walk down the street without seeing some kind of Christian fucking bullshit. Some kind of Christian promotion or propaganda somewhere. Right? If I go to the gas station, there's gonna be little fucking booklets and pamphlets and shit just sitting there. We got billboards with signs promoting theistic bullshit, right? I've shown on the live before. Big ass billboard on both sides talking about there's evidence of God. Think about the fact that they have to make a billboard that says that without actually providing this evidence. They always do that. We can't walk down the street without some kind of religious promotion propaganda bullshit. And yet, so many people are getting harmed. A lot of times in the name of God. But even with that, I would never wish harm on any of these people because I don't do this to want to harm people. I don't attack theism because I want theists hurt. I'm not a fucking crazy, I'm not a loony, I'm not some goofy. I do this to try to help those people because those people think that they have the truth. They think that they have the correct answer, and yet those people are the ones being hurt, and as a result, they're hurting the rest of us. They don't have the truth. That's why they can't stand it when you challenge them. They can't stand it when you directly confront them and say, okay, show us any of that right now. Show us, show us, show us, show us, show us. Right now, right now, right now, right now. Okay, miss me all that bullshit. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Okay, miss me with that excuse shit. Show us where this thing is at right now, this second. I don't care about none of that dumb shit. Oh, it's in another dimension. Show us which dimension and show us how we can access that dimension so that we can reach this thing that you claim is so fucking real. You can't just say ambiguous bullshit like that. You can't just say vague ass garbage like that. See, we live in the modern time. We live in the modern age. In the modern age, we can be accurate now. We don't have to talk in fucking generalities. We can be specific. We can be direct. We can be accurate. Highly accurate. We don't have to say they. We can literally name names. We can say, oh no, this organization at this date and time who consists of these specific people who perform these kinds of actions and are known for this type of whatever the fuck. We don't have to talk in code no more. We don't have to talk in, well, maybe, perhaps, potentially, maybe, perhaps. We can be direct. So, if there is this thing and these people are directly saying that there's some type of thing, show us this specific thing. Right now. I don't want to hear no bullshit. This is why I state this shit. Because according to them, they need help. Right? This shit says literally, the UN experts attributed the rising violence to armed extremist groups such as Boko Haram, Islamic State West Africa Province, and Fulani herded militias operating across the North and Middle Belt region, and pointed to acquiescence and negligence on the part of Nigerian officials to counter them. But see, here's the problem. Even though I agree that, yes, the Nigerian officials are failing if this is actually happening, what about the Lord? What about the Lord? Where's the Lord? Why is it such a horrible thing for me to ask this question? These people claim that there's this thing, and not just the Christians, but the Boko Haram, the Islamic State, the Fulani herders, all this fucking shit. They subscribe to some form of Delulu too. In fact, the Boko Harams and the Islamic States are doing what they do because they think they hear a fucking voice telling them to do this crazy shit too. So, how do we determine which of these fucking loonies isn't loony? And I'll tell you how. You can't. They're all loony. That's the point. They're all loony. All of this shit is senseless garbage. Senseless, literally senseless violence. This violence occurs for what? For what? What is this all for? What is it for? See, the thing about theism is that theists always make up shit concerning their theism. People are super duper creative. When they're defending their sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit, they'll just make up reasons why they should support it, why they should subscribe to it, why, even though it doesn't help them at all, why they should still be super duper simps to this bullshit. You can show Christians shit like this. Like, look at these Christians that are being hurt. Christians don't give a fuck. And here's what's even crazier, right? Even Christians in U.S. government, right? People like the Ted Cruzes and the Donald Trumps, like they'll be the first to be like, oh no, look at these Christians being persecuted in fucking Nigeria and all these places. But I thought y'all had the Lord. If y'all got the Lord, then what the fuck is the problem? How can Christians ever be persecuted if y'all have the ultimate super weapon? You know, God. You know, the ones that y'all have so much fucking faith in? Yeah, that thing. If y'all have that, then why is it failing? And why would y'all continue to believe this craziness despite the fact that it consistently fails? Because these type of stories have been occurring all year. And honestly, they've been occurring for years. Like, this shit isn't new. This is not new. These kinds of things have been happening all around the world for so fucking long. And the very people who are the most vulnerable, the women and the girls, of course they're the ones getting hurt. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, for some reason, can't protect the women and the girls. And that's not me just saying that on some like, oh, I just want to be super duper, super snarky. The data shows it. I show this website all the time. Notinourchurch.com. Mind you, this is a Christian website. Like the Diane Landberg, I guess that's the person maybe. I'm not sure. That she might be the person who created this website. But here's the quote. Any church leader who feeds themselves rather than feeding the sheep is a counterfeit shepherd. Anyone in a position of power within the body of Christ who abuses the lamb or hides the abuse done to the one the good shepherd knows and calls by name has profaned the name of our God. Or whatever the fuck that means. Dude, I get so sick of this shit. Because it's like, why are you missing the point? If the Lord, if Christ didn't want you to be hurt in the first place, right? And mind you, the Lord is omniscient. That means it knows everything. It's all knowing, according to them. That means it knew that when it picked this person to be in a position of power, he knew that that this person he put in the power was gonna hurt your ass. So why would you support this fucker who knowingly picked someone who would hurt you? Why would you choose to support that motherfucker? Why would you want to worship that motherfucker? But this is the exact problem of theism, that they affect people in these type of ways where they will suppress their own critical thinking skills to support this sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit, to support this fucking rapey scam. So that's why I say the things that I say. That's why I'm so mean and condescending and don't give a fuck who gets offended, because all I care about are the facts. Now, you can take these with a grain of salt, right? Because these are facts that a Christian came up with, and whether they're true or not, I'm not entirely fucking whatever, but this is research that has been cited, so you can take that however you will. But according to what they present, this is what it says. According to the late A.W. Richard Sipe, the sexual exploitation of women by priests is not uncommon. Other researchers have argued that misconduct by clerics toward women is even more prevalent than the sexual abuse of children. According to research cited in When Pastors Pray, a publication of the World Council of Churches, 90 to 95% of victims of clergy sexual exploitation are women. This book also cites a 1984 survey of clergy in various Protestant denominations that found that 39% admitted to having sexual contact with the congregant and 12.7% had had sexual intercourse with the congregant. But then here's the more important stat. There are studies that demonstrate that the faith community is even more vulnerable to abuse than secular environments. The Abel and Harlow study revealed that 93% of sex offenders describe themselves as religious, and that this category of offender may be the most dangerous. Other studies have found that sexual abusers within faith communities have more victims and younger victims. So if that's the case, why are we letting these fuckers have any say in law at all? How? How is this even remotely possible? If these kinds of facts can be provided, and these are according to their own members, right? I didn't make this shit. This isn't something that was created by some anti-theist, some evil, terrible, heretical anti-theist like me. No, this was made by a Christian for Christians, okay? Now, look at this, right? So if we go back to the story we was just talking about in New Orleans, okay? Hold on. So, if we go back to the story, right? And we're talking about just in New Orleans. They have 230 million that they could just pay in restitution. That was the settlement plan. 230 million. What up, dude? What up, ya fuck? Yeah, if they have 230 million that they can pay in restitution for all the children that they rape, then why couldn't they spend a couple dollars, a few dollars on, I don't know, helping to prevent this shit? Because like when we go to the mission, and I say this all the time, I show this all the time, the person who created this says, I am a survivor of pastoral, emotional, and sexual abuse. Yes, my pastor and elder of our church and my boss was an abuser. As a result, my husband and I began to study pastoral abuse and to follow social media and news reports on what seemed like a growing number of other pastoral abuse tragedies worldwide. So many churches of all denominations are impacted by abuse involving children, teens, and adults. So many pastors are not taking responsibility. So many elders are protecting the institution and not taking care of the sheep. I kept asking God, how can this happen? Why aren't churches prepared? Why aren't churches safe? We should be safe at church. I realized that our church has some safety measures for the children but didn't have any prevention or protection for adults. No policies, no reporting procedures, no investigation procedures, no training, no plan of care for the abused, nothing! That's when God impressed on my heart to build a website to do the research and gather information on awareness, prevention, and healing and put it in one place so churches and survivors can use it. So here it is. But see, this is the problem, right? Now, I just showed you that the New Orleans Archdiocese literally has 230 million by themselves, right, in New Orleans, that they could just pay in restitution for all the children that they've raped. At least the ones who filed a claim, right? The ones who are still alive, who are still with us, who weren't fucking, too proud to say, hey, I was raped by these fucks, right? Because we always know that the actual number of victims far exceeds that of the numbers being reported. We always know that. And we'll never know the actual number. But see, the fact of the matter is, okay, so first of all, I showed you the 230 million in New Orleans. And then I usually show y'all this article by the World Economic Forum that says religion may be bigger business than we thought, talking about how religion annually contributes about $1.2 trillion of socioeconomic value to the United States economy, according to a 2016 study by the Religious Freedom and Business Foundation that is equivalent to being the world's 15th largest national economy, outpacing nearly 180 other countries and territories. It's more than the global annual revenues of the world's top 10 tech companies, including Apple, Amazon, and Google, and it's also more than 50% larger than the global annual revenues of America's 6 largest oil and gas companies. You could say that's a lot of spiritually inspired fuel being pumped into the U.S. economy. So the reason why I bring this up, because we're seeing these giant, absurd numbers. The Catholic Church alone has spent billions of billions of dollars just in restitution for sexual assault against children that they've been engaging in for the last several decades. I mean, just 2 settlements. Let's just say the one I showed you, right, in New Orleans. There was another settlement in San Francisco like a month ago for like 400 million. So let's just say that's about what, 650 million. And then in New York City they proposed 800 million. So you're already crossing $1.2 billion of restitution with these three cities. Three cities. Three. All from this year. So, they got the money. It's not like they're lacking the resources. It's not like, oh, they don't have any of the numbers. I mean, they got the people. Like I said, 200 million people. 200 million people in America are Christian. Specifically Christian. So they can't say that they don't know, they don't have the money, they don't have the resources, they don't have the manpower. They literally have everything they could possibly need. They have the most representation in government anybody could possibly ask. Imagine if atheists had 90% of Republicans, 80% of Democrats were atheists. Imagine if we had atheists in every position in government, in the fucking Congress, in the fucking White House, in the Supreme Court, in every fucking local fucking jurisdiction, in every position from the fucking the local alderman to the fucking state senator and all that shit, the governor, the mayor, all that shit. We would probably accomplish a lot more. And we would probably prioritize the well-being of children, even though I'm not going to sit here and act like atheists aren't capable of committing acts of rape. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, atheists could never, because not only will they, but there's a lot of fucking loonies in the atheist community. I deal with them all the time. I will be the first to say there are a bunch of atheist fucking loonies, which is why I don't offer atheism as the solution. You've never heard me say, hey guys, you know what would solve this? Atheism. I know atheism isn't the fucking solution. It's a pathway to a solution, but it is not the solution in and of itself. Because if it was, well then that's what I would be promoting. To me, atheism is the start of a solution. By finally saying, okay, let's ignore this clearly obvious fucking bullshit. Let's not fucking engage in this bullshit. Well then what should we do? That's the solution. Actually having the conversations about what we should do. Once we finally recognize that sci-fi fantasy delusions are not the way to go, then we can start having the real conversations as a society. Because it doesn't make any sense that motherfuckers that have the Super Jesus Christ GPT app, trillions of dollars in monetary activity, and hundreds of millions of Americans, there's no way that y'all can't fucking solve this problem right now. I mean, what's the problem? Y'all come together literally every single fucking week. Y'all got all the resources. There's 300,000 to 400,000 churches in America. If they pulled their resources together, to solve major world problems, they probably could solve major world problems. In fact, they probably could have been solved half the world problems. But see, that's not their goal. That's not their goal. Because according to these loonies, the world ain't gonna last that much longer anyway. And we know that this is what they think because this is a part of their fucking lore. Which is why I talk about it so fucking much. Alright, so let's check it out. It's this thing called Christian eschatology, a very huge part of their theological garbage. Christian eschatology is the study of last things, focusing on the second coming of Jesus Christ, the final judgment, and the eternal state of humanity and the cosmos. It examines biblical prophecies to understand God's ultimate plan for history. Okay, so if we go to the article on fucking Wikipedia, this is what it says, okay? It is a branch of study within Christian theology which deals with the doctrine of the last things, especially the second coming of Christ, or parousia. The word eschatology derives from two Greek roots meaning last and study. Involves the study of end things, whether of the thing of an end of an whether of the end of an individual life, of the end of the age, of the end of the world, or of the nature of the kingdom of God. Whatever the fuck that means. Broadly speaking, Christian eschatology focuses on the ultimate destiny of individual souls and of the entire created order, based primarily upon biblical texts within the Old and New Testaments. Christian eschatology looks to study and discuss matters such as death and the afterlife, heaven and hell, the second coming of Jesus, the resurrection of the dead, the rapture, the tribulation, millennialism, the end of the world, the last judgment, and the new heaven and new earth in the world to come. Eschatological passages appear in multiple places in the Bible, in both the Old and New Testaments. A number of extra-biblical examples of eschatological prophecies also exist, as well as extra-biblical ecclesiastical traditions relating to the subject. So, long story short, these loonies believe that we're in the last days. They always love to say that shit. We're in the last days. Jesus is gonna be coming back soon. And something, whatever the fuck. So, long story short, this is the type of shit that's destroying the world. Right here. This right here. Because this is what Christians are obsessed with. They are obsessed with eschatology. They're so obsessed with eschatology, they don't even know the word eschatology. But they know goddamn well that they love Jesus, they love the Lord, and they love talking about heaven and hell and people going to heaven and hell and the last days and the rapture and the end times and the prophecies and all that type of shit. They love talking about that. They love talking about how are the prophecies not real. Look, it says in one passage that there's going to be a lot of suffering. And look, there's a lot of suffering. Oh, wow. How prescient were they? Because there's never ever been suffering before, ever, right? Oh my God, that is such a fucking insight. Who would have ever thought that people would be suffering? Oh my goodness, stop the fucking presses. Like, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. See, basically what I'm saying is, these people care so much about this end of the world bullshit. They care so much about this heaven and hell bullshit that they could not be bothered with, reality. They don't care about the problems that we deal with today in society, in the world, in reality, in, even among their communities, right? I bring up these stories about the children being raped because it highlights how full of shit they are in terms of morality. You cannot sit here and say that you have superior morals, and we can pull up these stories all day, every single fucking day. I mean, I could just keep going. I mean, I found stories I wasn't even looking for, right? I wasn't even looking for that story about them not paying. That wasn't even part of what I was even trying to talk about. I was just going to bring up, oh, motherfuckers didn't pay. I mean, motherfuckers have to pay. We're forced to have to pay because they got caught engaging in rape for so fucking long. And so many people came forward. They was like, okay, we're going to do the settlement. We're going to do the big boy settlement. I wasn't even trying to find the story of, okay, well, the settlement happened, but now they ain't paying. I didn't even know that was even happening. I just so happened to look for some shit about New Orleans and settlement, and that came up. The fact of the matter is, if you're interested in looking, you will find it. The problem is that the institutions that exist, particularly the mainstream media, they are not, and I repeat, not going to fucking present this data to you, which is why they never talk about it, okay? Every now and then they might mention some specific case of some shit, but they're not going to talk about, in the grand scheme of things, how these child rapist wielding weirdos fucking constantly get to have so much power and wealth, and how people just throw it at them, just throw wealth, just throw money at these fucks, empower these fuckers, enrich these motherfuckers, enable these fuckers on a constant basis to such a degree that, like, the rapists are the ones that control the world. And then people act so shocked and chagrined at the fucking Epstein story. That's the part that drives me even crazier. That fucking there's so many people who engage in this behavior. People who are super like well liked and well respected and fucking had all kinds of accolades and successes and prominence, and then people act so surprised that that shit happened. And it pisses me off, because how are people still being shocked about this shit? I don't understand it. How is it that in 2026, with all of this data and information available, people still act like they don't know what the fuck a motherfucker talking about? Now think about this. I just found this. I wasn't looking for this. I just so happened to... I literally just Googled Epstein, and this came up. Now, this is slightly different from what I'm talking about, but I'm going to tie it together when you see what else I'm going to juxtapose it with. So, I found this article right now from Forbes. Who is Cammie Clark, Anthropic CEO's wife, asked Epstein to invest in porn business? Now, check this out, okay? Cammie Clark, the low-profile wife of Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei, tried to court Jeffrey Epstein as an investor for her luxury porn company and women's health startup, the Wall Street Journal, and emails in the Epstein files reveal, as the journal's reporting raises new questions about Clark's influence over her powerful husband and his company. Clark is an entrepreneur who married Amodei in 2022 after previously dating former Google chief Eric Schmidt. Okay, she's a fucking CEO hoe. Okay. No indication in the Epstein files that the financier made any investment. Her outreach to Epstein came years after the late financier had already been convicted